Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Anonymous, and in this channel, we talk about gang stalking, we talk about manipulations, we talk about the gang stalking tactics, methodologies, and we also talk about my experience with it, how I'm dealing with it, and how I am trying to thrive. If Because I know that's possible, even though I have come to almost doubt it, I know that it's possible to thrive while you're getting gang stalked. And in this channel, we are going to analyze a little bit about how the imagination plays an important factor in the reinterpretation of reality when you're gang stalking. When you're getting gang stalked. So this is like my ninth take of this video. This is one of the hardest things that I have actually had to explain. But first, I'm gonna explain to you what actually happens in my head, and then I'm gonna go over the conditioning, and then I'm gonna try to explain it to you why that happens. So, gang stalking pretty much is where you are convinced that everyone has it in for you, right? Where everyone is trying to attack you indirectly. Oh shit! There's like a spider. Ooh. Shut. Sorry. Fuck. Okay, the spider is gone. So, as I go about my day, well, remember that I have been conditioned for 7 years. All right. So, maybe if you're just getting gang stalked, this will possibly not be. Well, I'm not sure, but I remember that this was actually just as strong. I think it was stronger in the beginning than it is now. Actually, yeah, it was stronger then than it was now, because before, the things that I was conditioned to, I was sure that it was because of gang stalking, that it was a gang stalker doing it. So, for example, let's say that I saw someone, that I'm sitting down, right? I'm sitting down here in my car, and I see a car like kind of, I don't know, like 5 meters away from me. And then I see the person sit down, and I see them slam the door, and I don't see them, but I hear the door slam hard. So my imagination will create a little movie that supplements the gang stalking narrative. So I will imagine, if I saw the person, my mind will create like a little movie of that person, with an evil grin, slamming the door hard to actually tell me that they're a gang stalker. But notice that incredibly likely that is not what happened. Maybe it happened during the initial conditioning, because the initial conditioning is the conditioning of your imagination, so that whenever the same thing happens, your imagination creates something that follows the narrative that you have been conditioned to. I hope that makes sense. So, because I have seen it so many times, where people slam the car door hard, with it, and I've seen them have an evil grin. I've seen them do it like up in an upset manner, almost like, and I've actually seen it. I've seen someone do it right next to my car, and literally just like looking at me at my car, and then just like boom, just like pull the door hard, like slam it hard, while looking at my car, to see if I would come out of it. I have seen that. So after seeing that a lot of times during the conditioning, right? Also, I have seen someone park right in front of me, have their headlights on during the day, and even though there has been times where they have done it, and it has bothered my eyes, have ignored it. And then I have seen them just leave because they waited there so long with their headlights on, trying to get a reaction from me. But I played it off as if nothing happened, as if I didn't notice. And I have seen them storm off in their car because they got no reaction from me. I have seen that. Also, I have seen a coworker literally strike their heel on the floor, causing a squeaky sound. Like purposely, I've seen them walk straight to me and then just do the squeaky sound. Like that's happened. And also, I have seen my coworkers do it. Do it where they're trying to trick me, as in they are like watching me from like in between the shelves at work, and they just like do the squeaky sound with the heel, and then they go sit down. Or they do the thing where they want me to think they're somewhere, because they're gonna go, like they have gone through like somewhere around the store, and then they would go like, "Hey friend, anonymous," and then I would completely ignore it, and I would think that they're somewhere, but then I would like just keep doing my job, and then they would be like somewhere else. So like I have seen them do those things, where I'm supposed to believe that they're somewhere, but then I supposedly look around, and then I realize they're somewhere completely different. Like that is things that they do. So this has several different effects on your mind, such as whenever I am at work and I heel, the striking of the heel normally like just happened, because it happened throughout the day. Some shoes simply just have that squeak. And my imagination, I visualize, Oscar right now is the only one that has the shoes that do that. And I have seen them get close to me and do the squeaking of the sound, especially when I'm disconnected, which is most of the time. But I've seen them come close to me and do it. So whenever I'm at work, right, and I hear the squeal of the striking of the squeal that is produced by the striking of the heel on the wax floor, my imagination literally just plays a little movie of him, doing it on purpose, like him having doing an evil grin, and then just like striking his heel on the floor. So that was only my imagination, but my imagination is replicating things that I have seen in the past, because I have been conditioned to feel that way. I have seen that, so my imagination is gonna follow the narrative that it has been conditioned to. Also, whenever I have heard a loud engine, like this doesn't happen before, but it happened. I mean, this hasn't happened lately. It doesn't happen anymore, but it has happened before, where I would be sitting down, passing by somewhere, and then I'm sensitive, and then I would hear the loud revving of an engine. There are times where it has been done so loud on purpose, to bother me. Like it has happened where they just rev the engine up, and and I got into the point where I have been, where my imagination just pictures the person in the car just like revving it up on purpose to get to me as a form of harassment, because I have experienced it as harassment. But whenever, after the conditioning, my imagination is the one that imagines the person purposely doing to harass me, even though it has nothing to do with me anymore. The dangling of the keys. So I have seen customers literally just like, well, my store right now, actually let me just finish the whole thing with the keys before I bring in the store design. So there are times where customers just dangle the keys like that, and I have seen them looking at me right in the eyes and then just dangling the keys like that. I swear to God, I have seen it. And so then whenever I like and they're trying to get me to react. Like, I have seen it. And it's that it would cause anyone discomfort, right? Like, it's weird, but in gang stalking, let me tell you, for some reason the keys just cause me discomfort. They don't do that anymore, but they used to. But then I've seen it. I have seen it with my 2 eyes. The customer just dangle the keys, or dangle the keys, on purpose. Where it's obvious they're just doing it, to bother me. But then, after the conditioning, there are a lot of keys sounds that are gonna happen because people are walking into the store and they're pocketing the keys, right? But in my gang stalked experience, because I have been conditioned to perceive the dangling of the keys as an underhanded form of harassment. I have, as an underhanded form of harassment, whenever I hear the dangling of the keys, I will feel it like my imagination will play a little movie of the person dangling the keys with an evil grin. So even when the harassment is done and the dangling of the keys have nothing to do with the harassment or gang stalking, if I lacked understanding of the conditioning, I will go out about my day, and whenever I would hear dangling of the keys, my mind will literally play a little movie of the person dangling the keys as like an evil, like like an evil person doing that, like to harass me. But when the harassment is happening, I don't think they actually know this, but they are also conditioning your imagination to play little movies that have to do with the trigger. Like, also the water bottle, when someone has a water bottle and they do this, there's a sound. A coworker has done that, and I have seen them be happy about it, where they were like this. There was a bottle in front of me, and he grabbed it and he just went like that while looking at me right in the eyes. And that just got to me for some reason, even though there was no memory, there was no traumatic experience, but it was just the harassment itself that had that effect. So whenever that only happened for a couple of hours, the first time that I was conditioned to these things, it actually had a tie-in to a memory. I'm gonna elaborate on that later. But this actually was a form of harassment. Like, believe it or not, as stupid as that might sound, it was. I will tell you why in a little bit. Well, anyways, let me see. Oh yeah, so whenever I would hear that, even so, that sound, especially with the bottles, they're so cheaply made, with the cheap bottles now, that's bound to happen, because the bottles are so cheaply made, they make that sound, even when you're not squeezing the bottle hard. But whenever I would hear that sound, my imagination will create that sound. My imagination will create that little movie of the person just like this, with like an evil grin, So, the story with the bottle is a little embarrassing. I have told that a lot of times, and I don't want to keep telling you that story. But I wouldn't tell you the story now. I think I already told the most recent story was about the line of Tina of methamphetamines that I did, where then the sound of became synonymous with the implication that the mockery that I was caught doing a line of it. That's when the became a thing. Okay, so I feel like I have already made my point clear. In the imaginative work of the imaginative factor that it plays on reality. So I feel like I've explained that clear enough. So the triggers lead to pull up the memories, and whenever you hear the trigger, because of the memory, your mind creates a new memory or a new movie of the person actually actively trying to harass you. So whenever you're living your life, right, you're normal, right? But because of you have had, I guess that is what a trauma is, correct? I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but because you have experienced that so many times, whenever you hear that sound, like the car door slamming, or the striking of the heel, or the crackling of a water bottle, my imagination literally creates a movie of the person doing it purposely to harass me. Even when I'm not getting gang stalked anymore. So it is the experience that keeps the gang stalking alive. It is the imagination that keeps the gang stalking alive. Even when you are not getting gang stalked, it is your imagination. And that is why that's what upkeeps the gang stalking. It just does. So what I'm trying to do now is I say my little mantra that I told you in a couple of videos ago. Whenever I hear a trigger, and I actively try to not give it importance, because who cares? I'm gonna forget about it and it's not gonna affect me. And that's one thing that I have realized, is that with time, those memories, like, the less importance you give to them, the less they matter. And the less they matter, the less effective they are at actually keeping up the gang stalking narrative. I think that is why it is so important for me at this point to stay away from any type of any type of thing that brings up a memory of gang stalking, any type of interaction with anyone who could possibly be a gang stalker. Because the longer that happens, the further away the memory of gang stalking is going to be, which will mean that the conditioning will have to take place again, and it will be less powerful. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If please comment on this. If there's something that, if I didn't make myself clearly understandable, just please let me know. If it didn't make sense, please let me know. I will reply to you as soon as I can, or I will make a video explaining that to you. I love the comments. I appreciate them so much. Also, please share and like and subscribe, because remember, guys, the more we make, the more public all this information is, the more it is known for targets and even gang stalkers. I don't care. That we understand what actually is happening in our heads The more you understand the psychology, the more everyone understands what gang stalking really is and what it does to people, what it does to someone's head, and how it actually does have the capacity of driving someone crazy and make them and terminate their potential to become someone who actually has something of value to provide to society. The more we understand that, um, the closer we could possibly be into actually having something that could make gang stalking illegal. At this point, there is nothing. I don't think there's like a law on gang stalking, but I feel that there isn't, because gang stalking is not really understood by anyone. You know, this is gonna sound like I'm full of myself, but I know that I have an understanding of this better than some of the gang stalkers, because I see both ends of it, both sides of it. I have the perspective of the gang stalker, and I have the perspective of the target. And I have gone through it for so long that I am actually able to use it to for more research, because that's practically what I'm doing. I'm pretty much researching gang stalking. So the clearer we have an understanding of it, and the more information we have on this, the better. Right now we have 305 videos, 306 with this one. And thank you guys so much for becoming a part of it and for your support. I love you guys. Please take care. Have a good day.